So when we think about AI, the first thing I want to say is that we all have this ability to have an AI assistant today. That it has opened the floodgates for us to think about how we delegate work and work in new in different ways. So these are new. Probably the most powerful tool that I've seen in my career is now at our fingertips. And the way that I've been framing it for myself is that we have this new intern. Each of us have an intern, and they literally have a PhD in everything, but it's their first day on the job, right? They don't know what to do. They don't know how to be helpful to you. And they can make mistakes too, like an intern. Like, we have to know how to work with these tools in order to make them useful and to make us better at our craft, right? And there is, with these tools, there's also this massive disruption that's happening and a ton of unknowns, right? There's a tension that we talk about for AI making things efficient and allowing us to do this like higher order thinking part of our jobs. But at the same time, there's this feeling that AI is actually going to take our jobs from us and maybe even take what it means to be human itself. And I'd like to say that maybe these both can be true at the same time. And it's potentially a false dichotomy of us to like think about them. And it's actually preventing us from exploring ourselves and humanity within this new world, right? There's this quote from a former professor of mine, also a really great book called Program or Be Programmed, that Douglas Rushkoff wrote. And he says, when human beings acquired language, we learned not only to listen, but how to speak. When we gained literacy, we learned not only to read, but also to write. And as we move into this increasingly digital reality, we must learn not just to use programs, but how to make them. In this emerging, highly programmed landscape ahead, you are either the person who creates the software or you will be the software yourself. And it's really simple. It's programmed or be programmed. And I don't say this in the sense that we all need to be extremely technical, but in this AI era, being more technical is easier than ever. And how we use these tools and how we can code in a conversational way is the big unlock for me personally. And so throughout this presentation, I have some sort of expectations for us laid out. And I really think that we will shape our future together. And this vision that I'm going to lay out is not a specific vision because I think it's too hard to figure out what the world's going to be like, but rather the ways that we will shape it together. And so in moments like this, we like to go back to our fundamental principles and truths, because with all the noise that this technology is creating, we have to make sure that we don't take things at face value, that we can't be complacent, right? If we just sit back and we only use these tools as they're presented to us, we will be programmed by them, right? And we can't let AI stop us from thinking. We must not let these machines, think for us, but rather explore and expand the potential of thought itself, right? And so when we think about how we're going to measure success in this world and what it means for our business, I don't look at it as, oh, this is going to allow us to scale so much faster. We're going to be able to bring on all these new team members, including AI team members. We're going to make everything super efficient and like everything's going to take half the amount of time, right? Or we're going to be able to massively increase our revenue. But what I do think about is, how do we do the thing that we get hired to do better? How do we create, we're more creative with the impact that we have? Because as inputs become easier and the outputs of a 360 review takes that much less time, how do we actually increase the quality of it? How do we make it more impactful for us? Because that's what we're freeing up ourselves to do, is be better at our craft. We, have always said that we have this ambition to build the world's best environment for curious, smart, and driven people who want to practice their craft of helping clients and each other figure it out. And AI can help us do this better. And I ask you to, when you think about that and our values and how we apply this, where are the moments that we can lean in to use it, right? And so I've got a mental model for myself of the variables and the decisions and expectations that we can have across these tools, and the levers that we have as a team inside us to have a vision for how we're going to respond to this moment. The first is tools. So those are Gemini, ChatGPT, Perplexity, all the AI tools and interfaces that we have at our disposal. We have then our culture, which is our secret sauce, our collective mindsets, shared values, ways of working. We have you personally, your humanity, your perspective, your creativity, your agency as a human. And then we also have this foundational thing that we've been working very hard at, which is our data, which is, I think, going to be paramount for us in the future. So let's dive into that one first. So this is the foundation of everything that we're working toward. We have always believed that our secret sauce as a team is crafting insights, right? Through the data sources we have available. So you've probably seen this slide before. It's like a classic part in some slide that, we help that businesses really grow through insights, that they understand the world, the dynamics of their customers, and they make decisions based on that, and they apply that to a bunch of aspects of their business, right? And the crazy part is that we're now increasing dramatically the amount of inputs that we can have access to through AI, because we can scale what we can do there much faster. That doesn't change our secret sauce for us and our creativity, but how we use it will probably change, right? And the new unlock and collective expectation for us as a team is to collect, capture, and organize data on a scale that we never thought possible before. The solution for information overload, overload that we're in, and the problem that it creates is to actually create more information and more ways to find it, because there's metadata and layers within layers of what we're able to access. And we as humans aren't necessarily capable of understanding all of that, but being able to use the tools that we now have available, we can synthesize and contextualize it and bring our context of us in the moment into view a lot better than ever before. And we have already made dramatic progress, as you saw earlier at Together, of the things that we're building. Starting from our data infrastructure, we're building lake houses, warehouses, lakes. We're building, to think about a future city of data to bring in all of these different pieces that we can together to be able to do the types of analysis that we're talking about, right? So yes, right now we're doing even things on with Notebook LM of taking what would be individual qualitative surveys that would have qualitative interviews that would take us a long time to synthesize and pull insights from. We're able to do that faster and better and more granular and iteratively. We can go back to them in a way that if you stepped away from that, you'd have to have taken extremely detailed notes to be able to do synthesis, compare year over year. What if we went back and talked to them a year from now and talk about what has shifted with your customers? Like, we can do those things now, and we couldn't have done them before. So our limitations is the creativity upon this data, right? We have types of analysis. We have share search, incrementality stage, regression analysis, contribution margin, return on experience. All these things are better at connecting dots. We have the synthesis of qualitative transcripts, survey analysis structure. We're more sophisticated as a team at Part and Sum than we've ever been at any moment. And we're going to create new novel sources of data, transcribing every conversation that we have with our teams and across clients. We're accessing this in a way that we can produce new insights that, again, have been locked away. We can mine our insights and improve the things that make us human, our EQ, as a service for what we do with our offering going forward. And as the world becomes increasingly black boxed, as these tools and media no longer allow us to find so many insights directly in them, and these tools are not going to play nice together, right? Notebook LM and OpenAI, they're not going to want to share and work long-term with each other. And so our ability is to bring these different sources of data together and do our own analysis on top of them and use that as our foundation for our creativity and the work that we provide to clients. And so what does that mean? We have a whole bunch of sources of data now, but to Julie's point, we need to think broader about them. And a lot of what we're going to do is allow us to think bigger about what we approach, right? So we have zero-party data. So that's our survey data and interviews that we get people and clients to directly add access to. We have the first party data of our clients, so customer data, sales data, media performance, metadata. What's the difference between purchase times and the stuff around, not just the sale data, but all the data that goes along with the sale, right? We have third party data, right? So things that are maybe publicly scrapable on the internet. Who's going to a conference, or where are the conferences going? I think Connor built a gem kind of around what are those marketing events, right? There's some of the stuff's publicly available. We just have to know how to search for it. We have media targeting data. There's tools like SparkToro, SEMrush. A lot of these have APIs that we can connect into, do custom polls for clients and do merge data together to do really interesting things. You can get Reddit through Perplexity. There's brand tracking data. We have our conversational data, transcripts of calls, Slack conversations ourselves. We have our own IP, previous deliverables, all the work we've ever done. We have frameworks, the swarms that we have together, our own thought leadership. And all of these things are our foundation that we start from, because these are the things that we've created that are unique to us, and things that we can be creative with in terms of how we use them going forward. And so this is our data strategy as one of our pillars of our mental model. The stronger our foundation, the more valuable insights we can find that others can't. By merging these disparate sources together, we'll unlock value that's not necessarily accessible by any AI. Because you can ask an AI a same question that you would ask any of us, but us being able to bring these things together and to think creatively on top of them will be a moat for us in the future. So here's my expectation of us for what we do with data. Capture everything. This is our goal. This is our moat. This is our future. Creativity and data sources. So look for interesting and custom sources of data to pull into our data lakes long term. So custom APIs, novel zero-party data ways, right? Like we have created interesting ways of running interviews or doing our happy hours. Like those methodologies are really bespoke to us, and they allow us to unlock new things for us to use these tools to use both short-term and long-term together. Become more data savvy. So AI can write a script for you to pull from an API. I did one myself. I created a little bot that can do searches through news feeds for clients and pipe that into Slack. Like these, just like playing with your gem, you can use the same thing for how to pipe this into our future data lakes, et cetera. So get used to playing with it, using it to manipulate, analyze, and story tell the data around you. And then longer term, we're going to look for moats of new ways of creating custom data sources. So think a Slack community with a specific type of expert or audience. Think of original research that we can do. We can do things like the live capture of ROX data. So these will all be things that we long-term will look to build a more robust foundation for ourselves. So if we have this great foundational layer, we have to know that we're in this massive acceleration, and it does feel like things are launching every day. New tools are launching, and the ones that are already live are getting better. They're competing with each other. They're all fighting for their compute and their training data and all this stuff around us. And there's a lot of noise in that, right? And more tools are coming. I shared this report from SimilarWeb. You can see the DevOps and code completion. The rate at which people are using it to code new things is, because it's very good at it, because it speaks the same language, is exponential. And it just means the rate of tools is going to increase more than ever. And part of that is it's making it chaotic, right? We're in a chaotic place with the tools, and there is no one right tool. They're slightly getting better all the time. And so it's making this like, oh, I don't know where to get started. I don't know how to get going. And the thing is, there's not one tool to build our future of our business on. The future of our business is built on each other and on the data that we're going to capture. And no one person's going to tell us what tool to use, right? Where I like to go back to is, and we've shared this together at a few togethers before, which is the wonderful Welsh word of the Cynefin framework. So this framework is designed for leaders, and it's been used at MIT and in the military for basically how to address certain types of situations and what are the core ways that you should respond to that situation. So you have the simple right here. So the relationship between cause and effect is really simple, right? Like watering this plant. And when you do it, you sense, you categorize, oh, I need to water the plants. Plants get watered. I respond by watering the plant, and you use best practices. Don't overwater it. This is how much to water. It's like same for every plant out there, right? You have complicated situations, and that's where the relationship between cause and effects requires some sort of analysis, and that you need to investigate, you need to know. And this is the realm of experts, right? People that know good practices. You sense, you analyze what's going on with the data, and you respond, right? Complex is typically where we've historically always worked at Part and Sum, which is the relationship between cause and effect can be understood in retrospect, right? We probe, we sense, we respond, we test and learn, we figure out how to solve for new technologies as they're evolving around us, right? We've gotten very good at that. But right now we're in a moment of chaos. With tools. There's no relationship between the cause and effect. There's so many tools out there. Everything's going on. And in moments like that, it's not about like testing and learning the same way. It's just about jumping in, settling things down, figuring it out yourself, and then moving it to a place around here that you can go, right? And the biggest danger that every organization has is treating one of these situations like it's a different one, right? If you right now don't realize we're in a chaotic place with tools, and you're treating it as, oh, it's simple. I just asked ChatGPT and everything's fine. Then you're going to be programmed by the tool as we talked about, right? The way to do it is to jump and figure out how to push the limits of these technologies, because then we move back into areas that we're more comfortable with, right? Because the rate of change is happening so fast. And so our tool strategy is, as long as we build our foundation with strong data and we have a North Star of what good looks like, right? It's as important to have the North Star what good looks like, right? We have to still hold our standards higher, because what happens is the outputs become easier. Like you can ask ChatGPT and these tools to make anything for you, but is it good? Is it good copy? Is it smart? Is this a smart strategy? And that's where we have to hold ourselves accountable, right? So we have to know what good looks like, and we have to have a strong foundation of data, because we can pick and drop up tools at any time we want to. It's also why we're not investing. We played around. We made our little persona GPT when ChatGPT launched 2 years ago. Like we played around with it, but that's not where the investment is for us. It's being commoditized. It's too risky. It's too high risk for us. But what we can do is create our own foundation and continue to define for each other what good looks like, and add our POV into the tools, right? Because that becomes secret sauce. Our creativity and our POV, strong opinions loosely held, is a core value. And that's where we can develop a lot of robust usage of these, right? And that goes back to one of our other togethers, which was all around craft, right? And we had this idea that Richard Sennett wrote in this book that's really good called The Craftsman, and applying that idea of classic craftsmen and craftspeople to the digital world, right? Making is thinking, right? Think about how much you learned making your gem. Being deliberate with the tool and practicing your craft is unlocking new synapses in your brain, helping you figure out new ways to master what's going on, because the tools are changing, that the craft isn't. The outcome of what good looks like hasn't changed at all. It's just what we can use to get there, and the things at our fingertips are more powerful than ever. So the expertise is an outcome, but it's not the goal for us. And the curiosity of people that we hire, the craft person is always mastering the tools in their craft, figuring out new ways to push the thinking, push the work to make a better outcome for a client, not a better output. So what are our expectations with tools? First off, get a license for any tool you want to. First off, I would say pay for the trial monthly versus an over a year subscription, even though it's probably cheaper, because who knows if they're even going to be in business in a year, or if you're going to want to use it, or you want to sink the time into it. This is a great use of your pro, do, and discover budgets. Develop a tool POV. What, like Elliot was doing, what is ChatGPT good at versus the other one? How do I know what I want to use? How do I design? How do I program these tools, right? Not just lean back, right? We have to proactively develop that expertise, just like we developed our expertise around any other tools that we use. Strong opinions loosely held. Understand the data and privacy, right? You can lean on ops, Sam, to help check the terms. We did with Granola. We do that with other tools. We probably should build an agent for that as well. But we have to make sure we're not giving away our gold or our client's gold, right? Our data needs to be protected. We cannot train models with it. We can't give our stuff up because then we don't have our moat. Be transparent. Let your clients know what you're using. Let them know that you're actually good at this, that it's not doing your job for you, but it's pushing the work to make their work better. Share your learnings and use cases with each other. We get better together. And so that's really important for us to do. Let's get into the next piece. So culture, as we've discussed at every together since we've started, part and sum, it's our biggest advantage as a service firm of people, right? And it's always been our ways of working and mindset and how we work together and how we collaborate here and at residence and with our clients. That is what makes us really, really unique. And AI is going to change how we deliver, but not why clients trust us and what we can do with it, right? We've always talked about, for us to be successful delivering insights that make things actionable and help businesses grow, and how we do it through collaboration. We've talked about this need of figured attitude and this ability to respond to these complex situations, right? Through curiosity, craft and mastery, autonomy, and support that are foundational for us to be able to be good problem solvers. And in this world, we've developed, historically, we've gotten really good at doing this like diverge and converge of observing the world, creating insights, recommendations, designing a brief that can then turn into an action, data that comes out of it, and a new observation that we feed back into our loop again and again. But now we just changed it. Now the briefs are prompts, right? We have observations of how we want to prompt something, how we want to engineer a system. And the feedback loop between these things is tighter than ever, right? We've talked about previously the atomic unit of strategy, right? When we deliver to our clients the observation, what's going on, the insight or hypothesis, why is that happening? And the consideration of, what should we do? Should you just think about this? Should we do something? Should we experiment? And all those are based on levels of confidence, right? And feedback loop allows us to do the whole thing over and over again after a deliverable of a strategic recommendation, right? And AI is allowing us to push each part of this process for ourselves in different ways, right? Through observation, we can listen louder through this foundational data that we're working toward, of being able to listen to more data, to be able to listen more nuanced across that. In terms of insights, we're able to think more creatively by pushing and asking why from different angles, having someone, I saw someone made a devil's advocate kind of a gem, push your thinking, use it as a tool for thought, just like frameworks do. Like a 2x2 is a tool for thinking and a tool for framing. And now we have one that is live and interactive with us. And then for consideration, we can use our expertise, like Elliot said, and experience on top of the tool. We can't take it at face value because it might be wrong. But we use it to frame, support, and push our thinking to be bolder and more creative, right? And again, there's going to be ways to capture more data coming out of it too. So it allows us to make a better unit of strategy. Another quote from Everything is Miscellaneous. It's not what you know, and it's not even who you know. It's how much knowledge you give away. Because hoarding knowledge diminishes your power, because it diminishes your presence. Talking into the system, giving it up, giving it to each other. We know the value of sharing information with each other unlocks greater resources. And that's how we need to embrace these new tools too. So my expectations for us culturally is, one, think of prompting as briefing. And we're experts at briefing. We do it day in and day out. And now we're briefing in the world of systems. And we've been systems thinkers for a long time too, right? Ask great questions. Those, good thing we hire for curiosity. Iteration is key, right? Going back and forth, treating it as a long experiment, letting it have the history for you in terms of what you're doing, test and learn. Run workflow audits. Look at yourself and your team and your clients. Maybe use a FigJam to map out what you would do historically. What are the opportunities across your work that can be used AI for? So maybe in a project planning moment, you're about to kick off a project. Where are the touch points that I want to make sure that I'm using AI in here? Am I using it to pressure test? Am I using it to validate? Am I using it to refine my client communications with me? All those things are things to think about. And we're going to do AI-focused show and tells going forward that Jessica will help schedule. And these are going to be ways for us to share what we're working on. We did these gems, but we're going to keep tinkering with that. And we're going to keep pushing our work to show that. We're going to revisit this same topic at every future together because it's so transformative. And we're going to share our learnings. Also, Residence is rolling out hackathons for cross-functional teams to work together. We are the sum of our parts, and you play a key part in that future, right? We often use the word agency when we think about our business model, right? And our organizational structure of us being people in a service firm, but it's actually this philosophical and sociological context that's actually more important right now, right? It's the power. Agency is I have agency. The capacity of us as individuals have the power and resources to fulfill our own potential. And we have the ability to act independently and make free choices in the world around us, right? And going back to this book is how we organize data and our information of the world reflects not only the world, but our interests and passions and needs on the world, right? When humans categorized animals, this is one of the anecdotes in the book, like we designed that. We designed what a mammal was and what's similar between mammals and other animals. We were the ones that created these systems that put the information organizational systems on the world itself. And that's what we're doing now. You get that power inside these tools to lay your own agency on top of them, unless you don't, and then in which case they lay their agency on you. And even at its most, this is from Walter Benjamin and the Art of Mechanical Reproduction, which is one of these foundational early industrial media manifestos around how media was changing. This is, over 100 years ago that this was written. Even the most perfect reproduction of a work of art is lacking in one element: its presence in time, space, uniqueness, and existence at a place where it happens to be. And this is what Walter Benjamin calls aura. And it's when we think about craftspeople that make something by hand, that aura of something really unique, and it's tied to that place in time. And that's really what we get to do as we apply our agency into these systems. We are unique as people. And if you don't let your uniqueness have control over the system, you lose that. And so that's a big push for all of us to not forget about who we are, our unique place, our context in the world, our diverse backgrounds, and what makes us misfits, because we get to use that. And that is what everyone can ask ChatGPT the same thing, but we get to be unique. And so this is my strategy for you. As we embrace AI, we are not surrendering our agency to it, but we need to expand it. We need to grab hold to be able to lean into what makes us more human. Every day you're going to face choices about these powerful tools. The quality of these choices are informed by you, your expertise, creativity, and human judgment. And those are going to define the success. In a world that is going to be increasingly shaped by AI, your personal agency shouldn't be diminished, but rather it's more critical for you than ever. And we're about to, you get to be a witness in the active transforming of it. So this is my expectations of you personally, everyone on the team. Use AI every single day. ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Gemini, these are our default tools. Major decisions and deliverables should go through AI. Do not let these make decisions for you, but let them inform you. Create a POV on your craft. How do you use AI to eliminate drudge work and spark creativity? It's your work. You need to have a strong opinion about it. Don't recreate the wheel. There's a lot of cool tools, and people have made a lot of GPTs out there. Borrow, steal them, but you need to know how they work, right? Otherwise, they're programming you. Everyone's dealing with the same moment at the same time. Like Jocelyn said with the .com transformation, like everyone's going through this. So you get to be deliberate about it. Expect more from your leaders. I'm going to do this as well. Like, we have to be power users ourselves. This isn't just a bottoms up, ground up thing that I'm expecting everyone on the team to do. I'm using it. I'm playing around with it. I'm developing my own ways of being a leader in this ecosystem. And leverage adversity. there's nothing but opportunity, right? Throughout human history, there's been chaotic moments, and the people that have created opportunity are the ones that were bold and took risks with that. So as long as you're safe with your data and your privacy, experiment, be bold, push your thinking. How do you make it bigger? All right. So no CEO obviously has any idea where this is going, but as we've talked about, the place to focus is on the things we can control, which is culture, taste, collaboration, and data, because those are going to be increasingly important where the tools level the playing field. And at the same time, outputs become easier, right? You can make any output where the outcomes will be the measure of success, right? So similar to how we always picture our deliverables, that's what Ellie was talking about with your format. What do I want on this? If I just ask it, it's going to give me whatever it wants. I have to ask it for specifically what I want, and I want to treat it as a collaborator there, right? Because the quality of our craft, the context, and insight are going to be the currency in the future, right? And we are not just evolving our understanding of the work here, like we are doing that, but we're also understanding we're in a moment where this is like, just like mobile phones changed humanities, this is changing the world around us, and it's going to be crazy, and we get to do it together. So I'm really excited about that. I'm excited to be in this moment with you, and we are setting out on hopefully this is setting up a clear process and journey for us to go on. I think it's the foundation, and we already have made a lot of progress, and so I'm excited to keep working on it with you. And I'm going to leave you with one more quote, but the underlining capability of the computer era is actually programming, which almost none of us know how to actually do, right? We simply use the programs that have been made for us. And we enter text in the screen when appropriate, box on the screen. We teach kids how to use software to write, but not how to write software. So that's my call to action is, you don't have to actually literally write the code, but you need to know how to manipulate it. We need to know how to shape it, like Danger Dog shaping that pot, because otherwise we won't be able to shape our own outcomes either.